Alright, so got your MLB playoff predictions here. Somebody requested this, so I figure I might just do it. Um, I was gonna probably do it. I was like contemplating about doing it, but since somebody requested it, I figure, well, might as well just do it now. So I got a lot of fucking pages of notes here. I don't know if you could fucking see it. I took a whole page of notes. I wrote down the 5 starting pitchers of each team. Um, and then I wrote down the playoff brackets, so I obviously know which teams are playing. So yeah, I got a lot of notes here. I didn't bother writing down the batting stats or whatever because that would take a fucking long time. Alright, so let's start off with the American League. Alright, so I didn't really get time. I didn't do this before the wild card games, but not all of them, but there is one of them. Tampa Bay versus Cleveland tonight. I believe it's at 8 or something like that. What Tampa Bay has got Alex Cobb going versus Cleveland, who's got that Salazar guy going. What do I think is going to happen? I think Tampa Bay is going to win. I know both guys are young guys, but Alex Cobb he's got a 2.76 ERA. The Cleveland guy has a 3 ERA, I believe, something up above 3, low 3s. The Alex Cobb guy has been pitching longer in the MLB. I know Cleveland's really hot now, really hot right now. They're 10-0 and they've won their last 10 games. So Tampa Bay is also hot. They're 8-2. But you got to remember, Cleveland's played like Minnesota as their last 3 games. I think they played Chicago White Sox before that. So Cleveland's played and they played Houston too. That's who they played. So they've played like 3 series of easy teams, and they only beat them by like 1 run or. They're struggling to score, but they have been pitching good. They had a few good games, but I think Cobb's gonna shut them down. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be something like 3-1, 4-1. But yeah, all right. I'll give you an exact prediction. Cleveland 1, Tampa Bay 4. All right, so that gets that game out of the way. So we got Boston, Tampa Bay. All right, so Boston has their best pitcher. Well, maybe not best, but he's gotten hurt. Clay Buchholz, ERA wise. All right, starter. He's pitched 108 innings only, but his ERA is 1.74. He will be starting Game 3, not Game 1. I think Game 1 will be started by John Lackey, but I'm not positive. He's got a 3.52 ERA. John Lester, 3.75 ERA. And I'm assuming that Felix Dubrant, will start over Dempster, who has a 4.57 ERA. He'll be the 4th starter. I didn't really look up the order of the starters or whatever, because that would take a lot of fucking time. But I did look up the ERAs. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Tampa Bay has the better pitching. And Boston has, their pitching's not really that good besides Buchholz, and who knows what he's going to do. I think that Tampa Bay is going to win this series. Why? Because like I just said, they have better pitching. I think that they're hot, as I said, so I think they're gonna win this series. Boston does not have the pitching. They don't have what was I gonna fucking say? They don't have that guy who could just shut down somebody. I just don't see it in their starters. And let's go to Tampa Bay. They have Alex Cobb, who's actually pitching, so he's not going to be able to start till probably. Well, you know what? They got a little break. Today's Wednesday, so they'll probably start game 2 or 3. But they got Chris Archer, who has a 3.22 ERA. Matt Morris, a 3.29 ERA. Price has a 3.33 ERA. And then, again, Cobb, who has a 2.76 ERA. And then they got their 5th starter, Hellickson, with a 5.17 ERA. I'm assuming he's not on the team or he's in the bullpen, whatever. So as you can see, the Rays have a lot better pitching. Their hitting isn't that great. I believe they're not that great. They're not up at the top in hitting. I know Boston's at least I was looking like a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, something like that. They were top two. They were the best hitting team. But I think good pitching beats good hitting. So I'm going with the Rays. Then you got Detroit, my home team. This is where I live. I live like 25 minutes away from Detroit, 20 minutes. I know Detroit's famous for being a bad city or whatever. I don't live like in the city. In the city is fucking terrible. Don't let people from Detroit tell you it's a good city because it's not. Around it's a good city. In the actual urban city where there's big buildings, it's a really good city. It's fun to walk around. You got the Detroit River. Um, but like, don't fucking go out of the city where there's actually people because you're gonna fucking die or get robbed or something shit like that. All right, because that's crazy. It's crazy. There's like fucking buildings that aren't even like there's 20-story high buildings and there's the windows are all broken out. There's nobody in there. There's houses that are burnt down. It's fucking like fucking dump down there, and they filed for bankruptcy. So Detroit's not that great a city, and there's a lot of crime. 7 out of 10 murders actually go unsolved in the city of Detroit. So if you want to murder somebody, go to fucking Detroit. Not recommending that you do that, but just that's the little 1 minute information on the city of Detroit. All right, yeah, I live in a good neighborhood. Yeah, nice house, no robberies or whatever, no crime really to speak of. All right, so back to the baseball. You got the Tigers versus the A's. The A's have one good pitcher in Bartolo Colon, 2.65 ERA. I think they're like top 8. They're like 8th in hitting or something like that. And by hitting, I mean number of runs scored on average, or total runs scored during the year. So the A's are like 8th. Tigers, I think, are 2 or 3, something like that. Last time I checked. I am giving the win to the Tigers here. They've been pitching really good as of late. And I know the Tigers too because I've been watching them. They have been hitting very shitty as of late. They just got no hit. And even before that, they've been sucking. But I watched Cabrera in that last game of the season, and he hit really well. So I think that's promising for the Tigers. Or maybe it was the second to last. Yeah, it was the second to last game. He hit really well. So I think they're gonna do good. And they have really good pitchers. Anibal Sanchez. Many people don't know this, but Anibal Sanchez actually has a lower ERA than Max Scherzer. I can't say that guy's name. Max Scherzer. Alright, I can't say his name. Scherzer has a 2.9 ERA. Sanchez 2.57. We got Verlander who's hot. He's pitched a couple of good games as of late. 3.46 ERA. Doug Fister 3.67 ERA. And you got Porcello who's going to the bullpen with a 4.32 ERA. Then you got Cologne, 2.65 ERA, as I already said. AJ Griffin, 3.83 ERA. This Dan Straley guy, I've never really heard of him, but I saw him on there. I assume he's going to start one of these games. 3.96 ERA. And then Jared Parker with a 3.97 ERA. And then I assume going to the bullpen is Tommy Malone with a 4.14 ERA. Give the win to the Tigers, as I said, because they have the better pitching, and they have... I think they have better hitters, so I'm gonna give this fucking win to the Tigers here. All right, then you go to the National League, St. Louis versus Pittsburgh. I'm gonna give the win to St. Louis mainly because they have the better pitching, and Pittsburgh does not have any fucking experience. Joe Kelly for Pittsburgh or St. Louis 2.69 ERA, Wainwright 2.94. Shelby Miller 3.06, Lance Lynn 3.97, and this new guy who almost threw a no-hitter, Michael Wacha, that's his fucking name, 2. You don't know what I fucking wrote. I think I wrote 7.8. It's either 7.8 or 2.8, but he's a new guy. He's been pitching really good. I think that's a fucking 7. I don't fucking... You know what? I think that's probably a 2. Whatever. Just go fucking look it up if you... Whatever. I'm sorry, guys, but... Alright. But he's been pitching really good. He almost threw a no-hitter. Then on the Pittsburgh side, you got Liriano with a 3.02 ERA. Garrett Cole, I think he's a new guy, who's only pitched 10 or 15 games, I believe. Because I've never really heard of him. And I think I remember looking him up and he'd only pitched 15 games or something. Started 15 games. But this Garrett Cole guy is a 3.22 ERA. Charlie Morton 3.26 ERA. AJ Burnett 3.3 ERA, and then Jeff Locke 3.52 ERA. So all the Pittsburgh starters are under 4, well under 4. But I just don't see him winning. I see the win going to the fucking St. Louis because they're more experienced and they have. You know what? I don't know if I said they had better pitching, but I think their pitching is going to do better because I just see it. Michael Wacha or whatever, he's hot. Kelly's hot. You know, he's one of those guys who hasn't really pitched a full season. He's pitched I think 15 games or something, but his ERA is sub 3, below 3. Wainwright's ERA is below 3, and this Shelby Miller guy's ERA is just over 3. So I give the win to the Cardinals. Then we got LA versus Atlanta. I see the win going to the Dodgers here. Fuck, I fucking said too many times there. But the fucking Dodgers, Kershaw is a 1.83 ERA. Wow, that's fucking like unbelievable. Greinke 2.63, Ryu or whatever 3 ERA. Then Nolasco, I think that's gonna. You know, I had a tough time finding the Dodgers starters, but I think it's Nolasco 3.52 ERA and Capuano 4.26 ERA. On Atlanta's side, you got Medlin 3.11 ERA, Teran 3.2 ERA, Minor 3.21 ERA, and then you got this guy Freddie Garcia who's been pitching recently. I don't know if he's gonna start or not, but he's got a 1.65 ERA. Then Paul Mahone 4.41. Dodgers get the win here. They have a lot. They have a really good pitching staff. I see them winning because mainly of this Kershaw, Greinke, and Ryu. I mean, those guys are all have an ERA that's really good, below 3. Actually, Ryu is at 3. Yeah, I see him winning this one. And their hitters, they don't have a great hitting team, but I think they will hit pretty good. I just see that happening. I think, I don't know, I just have a feeling. Because, like, Atlanta doesn't have any superstar pitchers, really. And I don't really remember, like, hearing about these guys that much, or, like, before this year. So I don't even think they've been to the playoffs or that experience. So I see LA winning. Alright, then we got LA versus St. Louis. Give the one to LA again, mainly because of the pitching. I'm not going to read over the pitching stats again, but I really like pitching. As long as you have pitching, I think you have a really good chance to win the World Series. LA wins this one because of the pitching. And, you know what? I fucking take that back. I just looked at St. Louis's fucking pitching. You know what? St. Louis, because of the experience. They have almost as good as pitching as the Dodgers do. All their pitchers are really good. They're like, looking at Michael Wacha, or whatever that guy's name is, I give it to the fucking St. Louis. Because they have a good hitting, they have good pitching. St. Louis, right here. Alright? Then we got Detroit versus Tampa Bay. I gotta give this one to Detroit, mainly because I'm from Detroit. But seriously, Detroit has really good pitching. I think they will do better because of fucking Alex Cobb. He's a fucking rookie, alright? And he's their ace. Same thing with Matt Moore. I believe it's his second year. 2 fucking rookies not gonna hold up. They're not gonna do good under pressure. So in the World Series, we got a rematch from 06. Detroit, St. Louis, and of course I gotta give the win to my Tigers. Alright. I just can't pick against the fucking Tigers, alright? I think they, seriously, in all seriousness, I think they have a good shot to win it. Because of the good pitchers they have. Verlander, who's pitched in the playoffs before, and he's pitched really well. Scherzer is, he's good. I believe he pitched in the playoffs last year. I don't remember for sure, but he has done really good this year. And whenever he's on the mound, the Tigers hit really well for some reason. Then you got Anibal, 2.57 ERA. He hasn't, I don't think, had any playoff experience, but I think he's gonna do good. Because I was just watching pitch and I've seen it. seen him pitch and I've seen his interviews, and he looks like a mentally tough guy. So I gotta end this video here. I can't let it go over 15 minutes. So there you fucking go. Detroit Tigers going all the way.